of what is stress. We don't experience stress when it's what we want, and we experience it as stress when we don't want it. Consequently, when you're in the mood for loud music, you're in a high state, you turn it up, you want to dance around the living room, get all ready for a party, loud music contributes to your state of joy and aliveness. If, on the other hand, you're tired and exhausted, and you've had a hard day at the office, the same loud music would be experienced as stressful. The fact that you want it, that you desire it, is what determines whether a thing is stressful or not. So we can repeat that to ourselves and start to move beyond the vulnerability to stress. We can say to ourselves, it's really very simple. Stress is resisting what I don't want, and not stress is getting what I want. We move into sort of an easygoing attitude then, because now we realize that really the problem is within ourselves to merely shift our attitude. And one way we can shift it is to move up into this field up here, the choosing of a lovingness towards life, because around the middle of the 500 energy field, at around 550, we have an energy field called humor. Humor at 550, the capacity to laugh at ourselves, to laugh at the nature of life itself, to love, and laugh at the comedy of it all. That's the value of the great humorists, and the great humorists tend to be long-lived. The capacity to hold lightly, to see with enjoyment the qualities of life. So a person coming from that position then opens the newspaper and breaks it into laughter. I mean the comedy of it all, the futility with which people are trying to solve certain types of problems, because now that you understand something about the nature of consciousness, you see that all that's being reflected out there is an energy field, that they are like Don Quixote, fighting their own projections in the world. This is really their own negative viewpoints that they project on the world, and they then spend the rest of their life battling that which they have projected out there. So the comedy of it all, that's the basis of all humor. Laughing at those qualities of life, holding them from a position which exposes the paradox, because humor is seeing the paradox, the funniness of it, the humor of it, to hold lightly. We don't have to become at the effect then of anything out there whatsoever. It's we ourselves who determine by our attitudes, by our position, whether life is experienced as joyful and harmonious, easygoing, or whether we experience it as our enemy. The willingness to go with it. We begin to admire people who are capable and easygoing. You see, the objection comes up, well, with the easygoing person, aren't they a pushover, in business? The misunderstanding of what easygoingness means. No, easygoing means acceptance. It means to be adequate. If you could see the humor of life, if you feel adequate and solid within yourself, if you realize that you're the source of how you experience life, then you can handle those things which the world considers difficult with ease. You can be the boss, and if the janitor doesn't show up, it doesn't bother you at all. When the business closes for the day, you take off your coat, roll up your sleeves, and you sweep it out. It doesn't make any difference. Why? Because that which I am is unaffected by all that. The truth is that I am that which experiences experience. The realization that I'm the experiencer of experience, that that's where I live. I live within my consciousness. It doesn't make any difference whether I surround myself with appurtenances to look important, or whether I roll up my sleeves and I sweep out the office myself. That which I am is totally unaffected. That which I am is just enjoying the experience of its own existence, enjoying one's own inner aliveness. Stress just doesn't exist in that kind of a position about the world, where we clearly identify who we really are. When we stop identifying with the body as being who we are, we pointed out right in the very beginning, the body is half a dozen times removed from the reality of who we are. when we stop identifying with the events out there, when we stop giving them power over our life. And then comes an inner serenity. You know, it's like the solar plexus can relax at last. We're out of danger. We've sort of transcended the world. We've learned that what the source of stress is. Just knowing what the source of stress is already makes us immune to it, already moves us into a different way of being with life, allows it to see it as our own creation.